Hello. Welcome. Mic test. Mic test. Sorry, guys, and welcome to the 168th edition of the Trading Opportunities webinar. This is your host Nirav, and let me know how is the audio and the screen share. So let me just get started with quick introduction for those of you who are new here attending this webinar series for the first time. Excuse me. So let me just tell you what we do here, and then we'll get started with the actual content. So my name is Nirav. I'm the admin owner of 50 as the market analysis website, as well as the YouTube channel of the same name. I mean, YouTube channel and the website 50as.com. I've been conducting these series of webinars called Trading Opportunities, and this is the 168th edition. We come in and discuss live market data of EURUSD, Crude Oil Gold, S&P, and BTC. Discuss various hypotheses based on Elliott Wave analysis and my detailed research in the last 8 years or so on the subject matter. Those of you not aware, I also have a book on the content for intermediate traders of Elliott Wave, and for beginners to intermediate. I mean, intermediate to advanced, there is the book, and for beginners to intermediate, there is the video course directly available from the website 50s.com. Right. Check all that in your own time. And lastly, we do have a what do you call a clear forecast accuracy since whatever this is. And after that, we started doing these weekly webinars. So all that we have a track record of what is it 397 trades discussed in the last 158 webinars. I worked out. We will discuss what happened in the 159th webinar today in our discussions. And we go live at 4:30 p.m. GMT. Just convert it to whatever time zone you are in, so that you can join us live next time. Also, since we conduct 3 public webinars, 1 private webinar, and this is the 3rd public webinar, so next webinar will be held privately for excuse me. Next webinar will be held privately for our private Slack group members. If you are interested, you can find or request details via the contact us page, requesting details for Slack private group. I probably should make a direct link, etc., etc. Hopefully, I get the time for that. That's it, enough for the discussion. And instead of boring you, I'll just yes, one more last thing. We do go over the chart from the last webinar before discussing the current webinar's data. So I'm just opening up the chart from the last session on 14. Then see what was being said in this session, and then proceed to discuss the live chart data. In case you are watching this right now live or later on as the recording, always make sure to turn the video quality to HD 1080p so that you can have the best experience. Like that being said, let's now check the discussion from last webinar. Looks like we are looking at an impulsive progression. 3/4 is in play or possibly complete, and then we are expecting an upward movement. Let's see if there's anything else which we discuss. All right, so it doesn't look like there is much of anything else. H1 is listing upside, and downside possibility is only to be considered once we see close below this, whatever this level is. Right, so that's about it. Now let's head over to our live chart of Euro and see how things have progressed since then. Here on screen is the live chart of Euro. Let's first go to 11th and start our analysis from there. So here is the 11th April data. Market hasn't really given us a very clear long setup from here. I guess I should actually check the exact levels we were discussing for more clarity. Somewhere here we were discussing the analysis. and we were suggesting that possibly the correction is complete. However, the case now seems like the correction is continuing more in price than we thought. Let's head over to 15 minutes for a second. So here's the basic outlook. We are expecting this from this point of reference. We are seeing, one second. That's not the point of reference. We are seeing an impulsive progression from here on, and I have counted it as third, possibly complete here. So once this fourth is complete, basically this congestion range is broken to the upside. We can expect more upside continuation. The congestion zone may just continue a little bit up and then fall back in before heading up. So swing longs are a basic setup in this kind of scenario. Anything else can also be traded if you have the knowledge of the thing you are trading, of course. And let's see one more thing here. But we have specific levels for the upside. Here it is, our expected what you call target for the upside at 1.15459. So this is where we expect if the market goes up as per our analysis will land. Of course, this 4 can still be continuing in time and could be here. Doesn't really matter in both cases. We are going to look for a swing kind of long, wider stops, and this is the expected target. So H1 is suggesting bullish activity on this counter. I don't really see much of a point of making any more commentary here. Just let me know if you guys have any doubts or questions. Yes, Matthew, we do seem to have what you call lesser number of trades this week as well. So certainly that view is getting reflected. Now, one second, let me what do you call? Let me pause the screen share here for a bit and let me fix a technical issue here. And you can, of course, keep pushing things in the comments. One second. So one more moment here. Yes, so we do seem to have fixed it. So as I was saying, we did have a, what do you call, a kind of a not that fast of a week. Good evening, Raghu, and thank you for the confirmation, obviously. And Ativat, good evening to you as well. Hello, Joe. Yes, we certainly have that going around, Raghu. So as I can see, there are no real questions. Good thing. And what do you think of this color change? Obviously, a minor thing. I'm just testing new things. The green one looked a little bit too bold. Anyways, that's about it. In that case, we'll now head over to our next chart. Where is that? Let's see what was being said on the chart of crude oil. In the last session. Some sort of triangle we are expecting. Let's move it a little bit. So overall, what we are seeing is a possible correction in play, and then we are looking for upward movement on a shorter time frame, 15 minutes. Nothing much to add after that, I guess. And there was some high time frame analysis as well. Let's see the price. Why am I seeing a euro chart here on crude? It looks like there was doubt on euro. That's why I was also confused. Once there was a triangle, I thought it was just a live time frame, but it is. Sorry about that, guys. So this is the crude oil chart. The later part is an doubt clearance of euro of some subscribers. Questions, response, of course. And we are seeing some sort of corrective structure. H1 is suggesting 59.2 downward movement and then possible sideways continuation before further downplay. Secondary possibility is we are in an impulse denoted by the one up here, two down here, and then it will be a long play. But we are not interested in it unless the market is below 63. So let me just play this as well. So H2 is the bullish count above 63.2 and below 59.2 we have the bearish count. So it's quite clear, straightforward. Let's go and see how things have progressed. 59.2 and 63.2. So here is this 15-minute chart, live chart of crude oil, and where's that? 11th April, 11th April. 11th, somewhere here we were discussing this market. So 59.2, so it never really breached that. 60, one second, let me just check that again. What was the level? 59.2 on the downside, 63.2 on the upside. 63.2 on the upside has been breached. The market has gone up. So bullish setup has worked out as per analysis. So we can say this is a +1 in our tally of analysis. All right. Now let's have a look at what this market is currently doing. Do not forget to share with our subscribers if you were able to capture some sort of moves. We did have a good scalp trade on it. The swings did not work out, but the scalp position was quite big enough, good enough for our week. But other than that, this week wasn't very rich with trades on major segments, mostly here and there smaller trades. But anywho's, now we are on crude oil chart. So let's see what's really happening as per our analysis. We are expecting an upward movement which can take this counter to the high of, roughly speaking, around what is this, 65.128 or whatever this is, 65.121. So the market can go as high as 65.121. So that basically means we are looking for a long trade here, and I'll personally can look for some scalp entries around. So the issue, we had an issue with TradingView. Their alerts were messed up. Whenever I would right click and create an alert, it will create an alert at the exact price the market is trading at. So the alerts will misfire, and then it was a whole mess. So you can see me making a lot of alerts. After I raised the complaint, they have resolved it, I think, within 24 hours or maybe 48 hours. I'm not really sure. Anyways, now that the things are resolved, we are having a setup 64.616 plus look for possible scalp longs. Probably look to exit between this range, right? And maximum target, as you can see already, is whatever this was, 65.121. So only a scalp setup, and obviously if you don't know how to read these smaller time frame charts, just stay away from these kind of trades. They are not something everyone can handle. Things can be exceptionally fast, and sometimes even if you know everything, you probably will not be able to catch it properly. It can just spike up from here as well. So it's a risky one. Probably look to keep the position sizes smaller on this one. So that's the play on WTS crude oil 15 minutes chart, and as such, I'll also like to discuss the actual count once again. Here is this. What I'm looking at is a wave 4 in progression. I'm counting it as an A up and circle degree B down and circle degree C up. I'm looking at a zigzag correction here. In Elliott terminology, zigzag correction will look something like this. So this is your A up. B down in this case looks like a flat. And then there will be a C up. So it can start from here as well. That's actually the main thesis. So here's a distinction. On the right hand side, you have the rough analysis, and on the left hand side, you have the actual chart data, which is now being compared with the rough analysis. So that's how we are looking at this market. And that's the rough projection. Of course, we can be wrong. Of course, it could be possible that it is the leg up for C here somewhere, maybe. And that is something that's just possible. Let's call it H2, hypothesis 2, that this may be the end of the move and we will see a move lower. We can expect it as a B or maybe a complete down move. That remains to be seen. That's something I'll have to look into it and update on privates like as days go by or trading sessions go by, more data becomes clear, etc., etc. But that's about it for our take on WTI for now. Nothing much to add here. And if you are looking for swing perspective here, it is a little bit something you have to wait. We cannot take this or talk about this big B move down or expected big B move down just yet. Maybe I'll have to update the whole count. That's a possibility. So I'm kind of avoiding discussing that at once. Anyways, that's the take on crude oil. Again, not very clear. So, but it is what it is. And just let me know in the comment section if you have any doubts or questions. Otherwise, we can move over to the next chart. Also, let me know how's the pace. Good, fast, understandable, etc. Let's see. I'm not seeing any doubts or questions here. So in that case, I'll just move ahead with the next chart of gold. Gold. Right here is our dear subscriber and private Slack group member Joe saying all clear, them is fine. That's good to know, Joe. Thank you. Excuse me. Looks like Ativat is also fine with the pace. That's good, guys. So in that case, now let's head over and see what's being discussed on the chart of gold from our last webinars. Discussion here on screen. We do have the chart. Let's see what is being said on this counter. Let's go to the actual data analysis. So we have wave 3 up here, and we are expecting a corrective structure for wave 4, 3208, 3182, and A down, B up, C down is expected, I think. Let's play it. If anything else is being said, of course, that may not be the only count under consideration. Looks like that's the main theme. 3208 or 3182, market can take support. After that, the market can go up. Price at the time of discussion is 3230. Now let's head over live chart and see things from there. Here on screen we have it. Gold live chart. Let's go to 11th April and take things forward from there. 1 hour should do the trick. There it is, 11th April, and is it really? So where did it go and take support? 3198. And our market level was 3182. So it took support above our market level, good enough. Went up again as well as expected. So this again is a +1 market for us on the counter of gold. We do have a trade on 11th as well. 11th April, we had taken a long trade, but then again, it was, I think, before last week. So I would like to now discuss the current scenario for this counter. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We have the levels for 4. Let's mark them at once. 3286. Followed by whatever that is. 3240. And on the upside, we have minor targets. It kind of is irrelevant. We do have a channel, the green channel. So in case of Elliott Wave technologies, the what do you call impulsive channel gives us the target, and as such, the high of the channel or the upper line of the channel, trend line of the channel should be or is expected to be touched, not should be or anything. So we expect the market to touch this. At once we can just place our marker, crosshair, whatever you call it, here, and we can say that the minimum target is expected to be 3396. All right, so this is 3396 is the minimum target, so we can just simply say 3400 is our expected target. I have not yet taken any long positions here, and I'm waiting for a little bit more of a confirmation, you can say. And it's not really a confirmation, but I can say that I can add the minor longs around 3337. Roughly speaking, I haven't added anything, so I wouldn't say it's a pure strategy or clear strategy. It's a wait and watch market right now. But if I wanted to add 10 lots, I can probably add 2, 3 here and then wait for the market to go above. If it doesn't and tries to propagate something like, let's say this, then we can add the remaining 4, 5 lots here and remaining 2, 3 here at the breakout. That will be what you call position sizing or how to enter the trade kind of thing. Of course, how it plays out, it may change completely. That's how these things really work in real life. But anyways, looking bullish, targets discussed, corrective levels discussed. Hypothesis is H1, H2 are both valid counts here. So one is suggesting straight up move, one is suggesting small downside before the takeoff, and we'll have to be prepared for market following H2, even if we want to trade it as per H1. Let me know if you guys have any doubts or questions in the comment section. Trying to catch the wave 5 from its beginning could be a good idea. Well, there is no could be or should be. If you want to catch it, the stop loss will become lesser. But at the same time, the probability of success will become lesser because we do not have confirmation. So it's always a give and take, just like life. You get one thing at the cost of another, right? Unless you have the foresight to read these things much beforehand, it is a give and take. For instance, if you would have asked that question and been able to figure out this reversal somewhere around the first support incoming at 3286, then it would have been a good trade. Now it's not really that great. So hopefully that answers your question, Joe. Let me know if there are any more questions regarding this chart. And of course, those of you watching this as what you call recording later on, and those watching it live, as such, I'm seeing a steady decline in the channel. Generally, these things should pick up. I mean, what else is the world expecting? We have a exceptional track record. It's all public. It's all verifiable. You can verify it every webinar to webinar. There's no need to go here and there. So what are you guys waiting for? Do you want to keep me hidden forever? Because there's a limit to these things. We have done 160 webinars and we would very much like to see a little bit more presence. So again, long story short, we'll request that all of you guys share the content with at least 4 to 5 of your colleagues. If you don't have trading colleagues or don't want to share with them, just share it on social media and tag the channel, Twitter, or whatever you guys use. You can also share it if you are in some sort of traders groups on Discord, Slack, WhatsApp, Telegram, etc., etc. Kindly do your part. We would like to very much see the channel grow and cross at least 1,000 views. That's not a very big target given how much of a work I do put in these things and how I personally think, not personally think, I know that these webinars should all be paid. Anyways, that's about my jibber jabber about sharing, etc. And let's now head over to our next chart, S&P 500. So Joe is clear on the doubt. That's good to know. On screen is the recording from our last. No, it's actually the live chart. Is that? Yeah, there is a recording from our last webinar conducted on 11th of the chart of S&P 500 right now. Let's see what was being said in the last session and let's see how things have progressed since then. So we were expecting some bullishness. We were considering the possibility that wave 4 is most likely complete and we had a level marked at 4804. I think it was just a downward downside support zone. Just 3 complete, 4 complete. We were expecting possible bullishness that can take the market higher as a fifth leg up. Let's see if there's something else we were discussing. And we were also discussing the possibility that the market may go up in the shorter term and then go sideways before falling lower. So in both possibilities, we were discussing a minor or major bullishness, short or long term. Long setup was what we were expecting. Let's close it. Heading on to the last, the live webinar, live data, I mean, is on screen. And let's get ahead. Let's head 11th April. So the market has headed up a little bit. I wouldn't say it's picture perfect and this is the best trade in the world. As such, if you were attentive enough, you would have been able to capture some move here, but I wouldn't call it anything else or anything epic of epic proportions. Let me check one more thing on the last discussion. So here's a case of a market that is performing as expected, but hasn't really done the whole thing. So what is it really doing? Let's now analyze. So it's not a +1, it's not a -1, it's nothing at this point. It's a wait and watch market. So I am considering some sort of short-term bullishness here, although I'm not really sure. And of course, we already know it's a holiday, as you can see here, but I have to discuss it anyways. So some sort of bullishness I can say is one leg up remaining for a diagonal structure is what we can expect. One second, just give me a moment here. Let me check one thing before we head over. Anyways. So as I was saying, we were expecting a possible diagonal structure. Whenever the session opens, we can expect some sort of upward movement here. Right. That small, excuse me. That small upward movement can take this market and take it higher than 5489. As such, I would like to move the alert over here at 5383. Right. And what is this? Yes. Secondary possibility, the market does not do that. In that case, we would like to see the market go lower below 5145. So let's mark this And on the upside, we'll mark it as possible longs above 5383. So these are the two main setups on this counter. Longs above this, shorts below this, possible. Overall, wait and watch session open, and we'll see which way the market chooses to go. S&P 500. Let's see if there's anything else to add here. What am I even talking about here? That is just not possible. So of course this needs an update. Okay, maybe a complex one, I am assuming here. Pending LD. There is a chance the market may just be progressing as an X. Secondary possibility in red is consideration of bullishness. Main consideration is of correction 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 5. So that will come into play in the bearish possibility. Nothing to add here on S&P. It's the same setup which we discussed. Simple enough setup. We'll have to check. That being said, if you have any doubts or questions on this counter, just push them in the live comment section before we head over to our next and last chart. And of course, guys, do keep in mind the number of views has declined exceptionally fast, while the reverse should have been the case. So your support in the form of sharing the content and making people more aware of what we are doing here is exceptionally important and required here. Right? So I request you guys to share the content if you aren't doing that already. Need to cross at least 1,000 here, but I can see it declining around 400, 300, between 300, 400 these days, which is exceptionally low. So that's about it from my end. And now let's head over to our last counter, BTC. And first of all, let's see what was being said on this counter in our last webinar before heading over to the live chart. So in the last webinar, we are assuming that the market is continuing in a possible correction. Green count is suggesting downward and then pull back before another down leg. Let's see if there was some other count as well. Another count is suggesting it's moving inside a wave X correction, but that also doesn't give us very huge up leg move. It is bound to remain within the marked box, yellow box, I must say. And let's see if there was anything else. So more or less, we are looking at bearish possibility. BTC counter. Here on the screen live in front of you guys is the counter of BTC. 9th, 10th, 11th. 11th April, 11th April, 11th April. So the market has gone up and hasn't fallen down as we expected. And I do seem to have updated anything. Let's see. Not really. So I have just added the secondary possibility here that this market can just give one more or two more legs up for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for X continuation. So the count remains the same. The market is possibly still inside a wave X continuation is what our idea is. And setup becomes very simple here. That's the W. 1 second. Could be considered X complete here or X complete here. And that is about all on the counter Bitcoin. And it does give us a opportunity for adding longs above 86,317 for scalps, although I'm not very keen on BTC as always, as you already know. Right. And for short setup, there is nothing incoming unless we see move below 78757. Upside, as I just mentioned, scalp longs possible of 86428. Dull moment here as well, or I would say not dull, but wait and watch moment, I should say. Nothing much to add here. I don't think there would be any doubt on this counter, but if there is, you can just push it in the live chat. All clear for Joe. All right, guys. I guess you guys don't have any doubts or questions. That would mean that we have come to the end of this webinar. And those of you who were with me till the end, thank you very much for joining in. Those of you who are private Slack group members, of course, it's a great thing to have a community of our own where we trade and what do you call share live trades with all of you. Those interested in becoming a part can always find the contact details in the description of this video or description section of this video, I must say. And those who are still on the fence, don't be a fence sitter. Verify the data. Verify by joining in every week on week live and seeing how these things are performing in live market instead of watching it in hindsight. Although it is still real because it's all conducted live in front of you guys, but you know what I mean. It's better to see it as it happens. Nothing much to add here. I can say that we are at the end now. So again, thank you for staying till the end, and I'll see you guys in next to next week in case of public webinar participants and private Slack group members. Of course, I'll see you just next week, 7 days from now, or not 7 days. I should say the exact date, 25th April private webinar, and next public webinar will be in May, 2nd May. That's it, guys, and. Here's a comment from Raghu, our private Slack group member. He's saying, all clear. Thanks, Neera, for your analysis. You're very welcome, Raghu. Here is Joe again, our private Slack group member, saying, thanks again. It's so good to get your insights on the markets each week. That's again a good to hear in our public webinar from our member, one of our members. That's it, guys. In the end, it doesn't even matter. That's just a lyric from Linkin Park song. Don't know why I said it. Take care, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.